welcome back. So yes, for anyone who's nitpicking, I'm in the same clothes, same position, same everything as I was in the last video, because doing these videos back to back, get all the recording done first, then I'll do the editing afterwards. So before we start, like, subscribe, ring the bell, check out the giveaway, all that stuff. Check in the description as well for anything you might miss during the video itself. I'm still sat with coronavirus in a hotel, living the dream, drinking beer, playing WoW. What more could you want? So this, I've just started doing something, a little project in WoW, and it's quite fun. So I've took loads of footage to show you how it works. So using an Xbox controller with WoW, I would only recommend it for certain classes, and there's a couple of prerequisites which I'll go over. Just a couple of free programs, well, a couple of add-ons and a free program. It's fun. I'm leveling a hunter. I'll show you some footage and talk you through how it works. Show you my key bindings with the camera up close to the control and stuff. But it's if you like just chilling out, if you want to like hook your computer up to your telly or stream it to your telly in your living room, just sit there with a controller running around doing some farming or doing, mining, herbing, whatever, anything that's not too taxing. If you're playing like a retard class like a hunter or a rogue or something like that takes zero skill and not many keybinds, then it'll work. Sorry, rogues and hunters, it was only a joke, but I do sort of hope it offended you anyway. So yeah, it can be good. I mean, I'm leveling a hunter. I've done dungeons. I'm only like level 26 or something like that at the moment. I've got in situations where I've got 3-4 mobs on me, handled it fine. Takes a bit of getting used to, but I feel like I'm used to it already. So I'm looking forward to getting to 60, and then I'm going to do some raiding videos on it as well. Try and do Blackwing Lair or something on it, with a controller to show you how good it is. You can plug your headset into the bottom of the Xbox controller as normal. Use it all wirelessly. It's banging, to be fair. So as I said, like, subscribe, ring the bell, let's get into it. Okay, so straight off the bat here you can see sort of how the UI has changed. So you've got your sort of D-pad and everything down the bottom. I'm going to go more into this later on in the video on how I've actually got my keybinds and UI set up for this. But the two add-ons that you're going to need are called Console Port and Immersion, if you want it to look a bit flashier, I suppose. You don't need immersion, but immersion definitely makes it look a bit better. But if you just look on screen at what's going on at the moment, when I'm selling, you can see as I highlight over something, it says A to pick it up, or B to sell, or Y to split the stack. So you can do all that from literally from your controller as well. So you go up, you speak to the vendor, you just press B on top of anything you want, and get it vended. So just gonna literally give a little bit of talk just over the top of it, so you can see how easy all of this is with a control. Opening the profession window and whatever else, to first aid and what other professions you've got. So just quickly crafting some bandages here. But you can see the cast bar down the bottom. That's all part of the add-on as well. That's not anything custom. That's literally that's built into Console Port. Right, so just quickly skipped through where I was just crafting loads of bandages. You don't really want to see that. What you want to see, so a quest giver. So we're going to hand a quest in now. You just walk up. This is Immersion that does this as well. So as you go up, you can see like it changes all how it looks, and it's more of a sort of brings it up to date, if you like. With the whole 3D portrait and everything talking to you when you're handing quests in. So it looks quite nice. Let me just see what I was going to do in here. So I was going to hand another quest in. So this time you should see as I walk up, it asked me to press A. Although for some reason it didn't work there, but handed extra reward. And then you get an extra menu that comes up when you want to select your reward. So if you watch now, it comes up like that. You pick which reward you want. So again, quite nice, completely different to whatever what you're used to at the moment. And you can see the buttons down the bottom there. If you want to just skip back a little bit, you'll see the options that you've got in dialogue. But it's pretty much accept, decline, call a retard, something like that, I suppose. So again, like just here, you can see how easy it is to get your character pane and everything up. It's all I'm going to go into the key bindings later on in the video, where I'm going to actually have a close-up camera on my hands so you can see exactly what I'm pressing, and I'll give you a little bit of a talk through it. I just wanted to give you the feel of what's going on here. So yeah, leveling a hunter with an Xbox controller, and how if you was to walk past me in game, there's no way on earth you would be able to tell that that I'm using a controller, basically, which is the best part. Let me just skip through this and get some combat. Alright, so just running around killing a few mobs here. So let's quickly go over where you're going to get these from. So I'll put it all in the description, but like I said before, you're going to want console port, you're going to want immersion. You're also going to need a third-party program called WoW Mapper, which basically just remaps your chosen control. So if you're using an Xbox control, it just basically remaps what each of the buttons do, and then that works with console port in-game. To be able to customize everything, everything that you want. So the good and the bad, really. If we just sort of touch on that, it's great, to connect it up to your telly, do a bit of just chilled farming, running around. I mean, even if I've been playing it on a laptop while I've been away, been on trains this week, and I've been literally sat with an Xbox controller in my hand. It's quite, it's comfortable. Between a PvE and a PvP server, I would say this would differ quite substantially, especially for me at the moment. I say I'm comfortable with it, and I am. I know where all the buttons are, I know what I'm doing, but in a bit of a high pressure situation like PvP, like if someone was to gank you, obviously I'm not at the level where that started happening yet, but I could foresee that as being a problem on a PvP server. You're not going to be as responsive with everything unless you literally level from 1 to 60 and you do a lot of battlegrounds and stuff like that to really get used to it, which that's what I'm going to try and do, because I really want the hunter as my controller class. I don't really I want to try to never use a keyboard and mouse with it. How that works out, I don't know, but yeah, I foresee PvP being a bit of an issue. If you're on a PvE server and you don't care about PvP, then this could be perfect, to be fair. Raids and dungeons you'll be able to do absolutely fine. I can't think of any raid encounters where you would struggle, not currently anyway, but we'll find out when I'm 60. I think I'm like 31 at the moment, so it's going to take a while, obviously, but with the whole country pretty much going on lockdown and not being able to do anything, I'm probably going to get plenty of time to level it in between doing videos. That's it, really. I mean, there's not a lot to it. I'm not going to go too in depth on pros and cons. I mean, I think a pro is the way the game looks and the UI. I think it looks brilliant. It looks really clean. It really spices up sort of the quest interactions and things like that. So that's another pro for me. A con could be that I wouldn't say it's as friendly for every class. I'm going to actually set my Druid up a separate UI setup with a controller for Feral and see how it fares, but I'll be honest with you, probably could manage in dungeons and stuff, but there's a lot that you're required to do in various forms, and the reaction time when you're raiding as a Druid needs to be sort of on point, so I'm not too sure how that would look. But what we'll get into now is I'll give you a talk through on my keybinds and everything, and as I say, we'll get up close with the controller. So I'm just going to talk you through some of the basic keybinds. So I can't actually see the camera, but I'm hoping you can see clear enough. So obviously the Xbox button brings up your normal Microsoft bar, so I can now go on to record, and now we're recording WoW. So you can see here I'm just actually in a boost with my brother currently, who's running the other 3 characters. But you can see the movement looks pretty crisp. You wouldn't, if you saw me, you wouldn't be able to tell that I'm using a controller. We can put aspects of the hawk on and then call my pet out, do some multi shots, send the pet in. So I'll just talk you through some of the basic binds. Better call my pet back actually, just in case it decides to go and pull anything. So you can see on screen there the channel bar at the bottom where I'm doing mempet. I'll just talk you through how I've got it set up. Obviously it's really customizable, so if I just go into the settings now while I'm talking you through it, you can see nothing because we're in combat. I'll have to wait till we get out of combat. I'll show you some of the more basic keybinds for now then. So if I hold the left button and then press the Windows button, that's for the map, which you can use it like a normal map, click around on everything you want, see where your quests are, whatever else. So basically on the sticks, you're pushing the left stick in is left click, pushing the right stick in is right click. Again, this is how I have it set up. Obviously the start button is escape. It's always escape because then that's if you want to get to your your normal escape menu. but using console port changes your UI completely, you know, so you can get to things easily. So if I press the start button, I can then get to my character sheet, for example, press start again and it goes. Go up to the top, look at talents, yeah, and then it goes. So you can access everything with the start button, which is nice, but you can also just have it keybound, which is excuse me, which is what I do. So let me just go and find these because I want to make sure I'm getting the XP, which I am. So with a keybind, you again left button. So left button is basically well, I've got it as shift, but you know, you can have it as control or alt or whatever. So I have the top two as control, one as control, one as shift, and then both together as alt. So now you get all these keybinds, so you can see them change on the screen. So you actually get a lot. So I've got all my D-pad. So my D-pad up is to send the pet in. I'll just show you. So send the pet in because I like full control of the pet, you know, because they're a bit mischievous. Down is to call him back. So I just have him on passive all the time. Then obviously right on the D-pad is Hunter's Mark. I've got B, which is concussive shot. Serpent Sting, which is Y. I always have A as jump, makes it feel a bit more arcadey. Left is Mempet, so, and RB is arcane shot. Right, RT is empty. I'm saving that for aim shot, so I know where that's going to be. And it's good to plan out your keybinds before you start as well. So, but the more generic keybind, so yeah, we've got LB and that to open the map. We've got LB and start to put on auto run, and then again to turn it off, or obviously you can just move if you want to turn it off. Another really nice one, which you could put this anywhere, but a radial menu. So you're probably thinking, hang on. Yeah, sorry, I was vaping. You're probably thinking, well, how do I, you know, how do I eat, drink, take potions? The more basic things. You know, if you was in a raid and you want to pop mongoose pot and stuff like that, so you can bring up this radial menu. So at the moment I've got the things that I wouldn't necessarily use in combat. So dismiss pet, obviously tame beast, I've got some food there but that's irrelevant. Cool pet. But when I'm 60 here, I'll have, you know, food, drink, mongoose pots, you know, buff food, fire protection potions, shadow protection potions, you know, those sort of things, the things that don't really need to be there. You could also put professions there, which I am possibly going to put professions there, but I want to make sure I've saved myself enough space before I bother with that, because currently if I want my profession bar I just have it down here, so it's just a bartender bar that's hidden, you know, but it's quite easy to move, you know, move the mouse around anyway, and you don't need to use them very often. What else have I got? So I have my aspect, so when I hold that LB, which is what I use to open the map and everything, that one there, that's where my aspects are. So if I want to quickly, you know, switch to, oh look, now my options open. Let me just escape out of that. So if I wanted to quickly switch to aspect of the cheater to run around a bit quicker, obviously that's fine. And you can, you know, it might seem a bit fiddly at the start, but when I'm running around questing, you know, I switch like that. So if you saw my hands, I didn't like stop moving to change aspect. I just literally just move that hand across the switch while I'm running, which again, it's just going to take some getting used to, but I've been doing this for the last sort of 15-20 levels now, and I fully intend on using it all the way to 60. And it's a separate account as well, so it doesn't mess with my main account keybinds or anything like that. But ultimately I'd like to do this on the Druid as well. Just basic cat form abilities, have a second UI set up purely for when I just want to run around farming, because it's just chill. You just sit here just with a control, it's quite nice. The way I tab target is those two together, so LB, RB together, then you just tab through, you can see it on the screen, just tabbing for all the targets and then chuck a multi-shot in. Is there any other keybinds that I use regularly? Obviously that on its own just opens the bag. There's not really a lot else to it. As I say, if I wanted to open my talents or that, I'll just do it, even though it might seem a bit long-winded, I'll just do it from the top up here, and then you can do whatever you want with your talents. But again, you can keybind all this. I really wanted to, I'll bring the options up in a minute so you can see exactly how customizable it is. But at the moment I don't feel like I'm being gimped, if you like. So I know when I hold LB, it's my aspects on the D-pad and my melee ability is on sort of the X, Y, A, B. So A, for example, is Raptor Strike and Mongoose Bite macro together, because don't really need them on two separate buttons. On LB, you know, I have the things I don't use quite as much. So I've got my stone form cooldown, calling my pet, reviving my pet, scare beast, and right trigger, because that's quite easy to go left, right, and then bandage. So I like that. And again, it's quite quick to hold LB and then bang your traps down. So X and Y when I hold the left shoulder button is going to be all my traps. But yeah, again, I don't feel gimped at all. And I would argue you couldn't tell that I'm playing with a pad, you know, if we was in a dungeon together. Obviously I've yet to set timers up and stuff like that, but it does help that I'm playing, you know, possibly one of the easier classes, but because a lot of it comes just from auto shot and then weaving in those, you know, arcane shots, and whatever else. So yeah, and still having that pet control. I don't want to drag it out too long. There's not that much more to talk about. I'll be interested to hear what you've got to say in the comments, because I would like to put a setup guide out for this for a druid once I start setting it out myself, which will be in the next couple of days. If it's something you want to see, obviously just let me know. Let me just get out of combat and I'll just quickly show you how the menu is. So controls, I mean, you can see that you can do so much with it. I don't want to sit here and read through it all, but there really is, the customizability is massive. And obviously I've shown you some clips of how it looks already with the you know, immersion add-on, and when you're handing in quests, and you know, it just changes the UI completely. But you can see you can change, you know, exactly how it looks as well. I like the layout as it is because the buttons are all in order, but you can change all this, you can change all the art style. You can basically customize a keyboard to all your buttons as well, so you can type with your Xbox pad. I'm using this with a laptop, so I don't need to do that. But you can get the pad that goes on the bottom, the keyboard add-on pad, which I'll put on screen now. Which, you know, you might like that. You haven't got to use an Xbox pad. You can use a Steam pad or a PlayStation 4 pad or whatever you want to use. I think the Xbox pad's quite comfortable for this personally. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. You know, let me know your thoughts. I'm gonna put out videos sort of quite periodically, maybe every 20 levels or so. Let you know how I'm getting on with it. It will literally be like a 5-minute update. It'll be nothing too big, just to see if, you know, I switch back to a mouse and keyboard, because everyone I've spoke to said that I will switch back before 60. But at the moment, I don't see it because I've not really had any problems, and I think raiding on this is going to be lovely. Sat in front of the telly with the headset on, you know, raiding Molten Core and Blackwing Lair. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Peace out.